So our final lesson is on delivery. So next is you've gone through the logic flow, you got it. You've gone through the slides and created them. Now it's time to present, to deliver the presentation. How do you present? You have pictures, charts, data, words, and video. They're nice, but are they the real message? Are they the real tool? No, you are the presenter. So you're in control of the pictures, charts, data, words, and video. But the attention should be on you and your messaging, not the slides per se. So don't present just data, present meaning. So there is a reason for you portraying that data, show the data for validity, and then use that in the message for why is it important. And this is an important aspect for our slides. Often you go bang, 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 slide after slide after slide. And why did I see those? What did I just learn? Why is it relevant? So don't have that be a mystery. Make it clear and make the flow nice and smooth and not rushed. Present slides with graphs in 3 steps. First is orient the audience, describing the vertical axis and horizontal axis. A lot of people just jump right into the slide and don't say, we're looking at market share of this segment over time. These are things we do. Next is nail the point. What does the graph show that gives you insight that's important for you to convey and essentially show validity of your opinion? And then bring them along. So slide to slide, make the sequencing and transition smooth. Pay attention to your venue and the audience. Be there in advance. Check out the podium, the seating, the material, the AV, the microphone, all these things that you're going to need to be on top of before you walk into that room. And then manage your room. Have connections with the key audience or audiences. Some may sit only in the front, some may be dispersed. Know your audience and where they are. Third is teams. If you're 4 people presenting, it doesn't mean that everyone's watching the presenter. Believe me, a lot of the people, including judges and investors, will look at the other 3 to look at their facial expression. Are they supportive or not supportive? Are they attentive or inattentive? Are they interested or disinterested? These are important things to convey because they convey the dynamics of the team and the importance to each of the members on this project and the relation we have between the presenter and the rest of the team. So all these body cues and subtle items are watched by the audience. So just because you think that I'm not the presenter doesn't mean people aren't watching. Not to make you paranoid, but that is an element of the dynamics of a team presentation. So I have a skier and I don't even ski. Now, why is the skier the analogy here? The reason is the skier, when he or she's going up the lift, they know they're going to come down the mountain, but they don't know exactly where every mogul is, where every tree is, what part is steep, what part is soft, which part is powder, which part is ice. They don't know. If they're a pro, perhaps, and they've run that same run 50 times, they might know. But in general, skiers don't know exactly what they're going to encounter, right? So what do? They hop off and start going down the mountain, and then they move based on what they see. And that makes them a much more fluid skier. And the same holds for you when you're presenting. Don't memorize your pitch. Go there and be fluid and see how things work and be natural in your movement. Don't be rehearsed and overly rehearsed in your presentation. So rehearse your presentation and rehearse again. Now, didn't I just say don't rehearse? No, I didn't say that. I said don't memorize. It doesn't mean don't rehearse. So if you use the same words every single time, you'll sound and look like it's memorized. Rehearse means that you're more natural. You're conveying in a way, your language, your arms, and whatever it is that you have are all natural and practiced, but not word by word like a robot. If we wanted a robot, we would hire a robot, right? So slow down, don't rush. And the key to slowing down and not rushed is if your presentation is easily within the time frame allotted. If you're given a 15-minute window to present, don't just hope that they'll give you more 15 minutes. Assume that they will cut you off mid-word at 15. So don't plan 15 minutes worth of material. Plan 14 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever it is, but something short of 15 so you know and won't feel the emotional anxiety to go fast. So by practicing where you can easily deliver with time to spare allows your emotion to slow you down so you can convey it and concentrate on conveying the message instead of beating the clock. Next is relax, because they can see that. If you're tense, they say, why is this guy so nervous, right? So relax, because it is like a conversation, because you're having a professional dialogue with your audience. So here's some do's and don'ts for presentations. Time allocation. Do not work on data and slides until moments before the presentation. I've seen this happen. Do cut off work at some point, and then at that point forward, focus on telling the story, on practicing. Don't do more analysis. Stop the analysis, gather what you've got, and present it in the best way you can. Next, key moments. Don't do long, meandering introductions that are vague with no conclusion. They can't listen through all that. So nail the beginning at the end, because the attention for most people is highest at the beginning and the end. And then engage in the middle with clear stories, engaging graphics, things like that. And that's the key thing to understand about your audience. Pace. Some people talk too fast because they're rushing themselves to make sure they can fit it in time. And some are monotonic. They talk like robots anyway, and there's no change in tone. These don't work. So be succinct, get in and get out of your slides so that you get what you need, but don't dwell on topics beyond their need. And then vary your voice, tone, and speed. That makes it more pleasant and easy to listen to. And sometimes use phrases instead of full sentences. One of the quickest ways, or the best ways to speed things up, is instead of saying, on the vertical axis, we have sales measured in US dollars in millions. On the horizontal, we show the years from 1950 to 2021. Right? Don't do that. To save time, you can say vertical axis, dollar sales. Horizontal axis, time or years. So what have we done? Short, quick, they get the keyword, they know vertical is money, horizontal is time, not particularly a hard thing to do. And you don't go through long, full sentences, right? They're phrases, words sometimes. Next is control and connect. Don't hide behind the podium. Don't grab the sides of the podium with your two hands, sweating, right? This I see all the time. The presenter goes, stands behind the podium, hangs on for dear life, and starts presenting, right? Don't do that. And they face and talk to the screen. I used to do this. I was critiqued by the person at Bain who coached us. I would look at the slide and talk to the slide. Like right now, I'm talking to the slide. I'm not talking to you, right? I'm talking to the slide. Like that's really bad. Or the other is grab a piece of paper and start reading. No eye contact, no contact there. I'm just reading. You've seen that happen. Don't do that. I don't care if it's on a card or a piece of paper, you're reading, right? And the other is stay far from the audience. The audience is over there and you're standing way over here, yelling at them. Like, no, walk up, break that physical distance, not up to their face, but in a comfortable distance where you're having a connection, a human connection. So what are some do's? Stand without barriers between you and the audience. Stand on the side of the podium. Have a clicker or have a partner advance your slides, but don't stand behind like you're afraid of them, hiding from them. Be natural, use your hands, move your body, make eye contact. And it's okay to have notes, because as a safety net, it's great to have notes that you glance at. Never, never, never write a full sentence on your note card, because you'd be tempted to read it. Just some key words, so even if you were reading it, you cannot read the sentence. It has to come from you naturally. Next is team dynamics. I've mentioned this already. Don't look disinterested just because you're not presenting now. And some members don't want to talk, and then you think as a judge. There are 4 people there, 3 of them spoke, but this last person never said a word. Like, what's going on with that person, right? So everyone should speak. If they're not part of the formal presentation, we consciously have them part of the Q&A to show they can add value and they know what they're doing, because you're conveying the caliber and effectiveness and professionalism of the entire team. And last step is practice. Some people just read notes and they think about the words too much. They're thinking, looking up there, right? Don't do that. Be natural, comfortable, concentrated audience. And the only way that happens is if you really understand the material, where there's no question about you knowing what that slide's all about or why it's important. That's done. What is yet to be done is, can you convey it effectively to the other side, right? And it's not about the slides anymore. It's about you conveying the information from the slides. So those are some do's and don'ts. If you're interested in learning more about data and presentations, go to one of these books. These are all classics. Tufte is probably the most well-known, but these are books that are all about data, presentations, maybe to help you visualize and analyze. And if you know the answer, ways to depict it in a graphical form that makes it most effective in conveying to the audience presentation. I have to end with a bicycle, right? Because what that means is you have to hop on, you have to practice. Thank you for your attention. Hopefully this bears fruit in making your presentations better. And remember, it's just practice. So look over these periodically. Maybe like before you think you're finished with a presentation, just go through just as a final check off to make sure you don't stumble into some of these common mistakes. All right. So thank you and hope to see you soon.